Stranger in a Strange Land has been deemed the worst episode of Lost. Even though it's quite subjective and various fans have their own least favorites, but the one about Jack's tattoos is widely ridiculed and known as the lowest point of Lost. You could even hear the frustrations of the showrunners, especially after the promo.
Next Wednesday.
Your tattoos. You do know what it says.
The answers.
What did you do with the people that you took? The kids.
To 3 of Lost's biggest mysteries.
Do I know you?
Are finally revealed.
I thought you were taken. What are you doing here?
We're here to watch.
An all-new Lost. Next Wednesday at its new time, 10/9 Central, only on ABC.
The ABC promo people have promised that there will be 3 huge mysteries revealed in this episode.
Why do they do that? That just sets us up for,
Carlton
ridicule.
and I we're fairly sure that there is one big mystery revealed, which is how Jack got his tattoos.
The other 2 might just be sort of, promo mania.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure that I would color that as a big mystery revealed.
It's almost at the halfway mark of the show, and it is with an episode like that, the showrunners managed to come one step closer to the setting and end date for the show. The quality of the episode is not on par with the previous one, but we still have a lot to talk about. And I must say, every time I revisit this episode, it surprises me. Both the flashbacks and the on-island story sheds light on what makes the others tick, how they are a manipulative and dangerous cult, but also presenting kindness and welfare. We begin at sea. Kate begs Sawyer to turn around to get Jack, but Sawyer refuses.
Never thought I'd be glad to get back to this rock again.
What are you doing?
So it look like I'm heading into shore.
Why? If we just keep going, we can circle around. Sooner or later, we'll get to camp. We can tell Others and Scientology what happened.
Oh, we will, huh? You got a map you ain't showing me, Magella?
We see Hydra Island behind them, but as we'll see, the shape of the island will change over time. The filming location now is in Kaneohe Bay. Kate and Sawyer make camp on the island but continue to argue. The website Lost Virtual Tour tells us that this is a new filming location. They shot this at Pounders Beach near Lae, not too far from Kokololio Beach Park. So I guess somewhere in these woods is the filming location for this scene. Carl tells Sawyer and Kate that the people they kidnapped are being given a better life than the other survivors, and reminisces about his developed home. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned that this was likely his first time at Hydra Island, since he asked how long it was to walk there. So he was sent there unconscious shortly before Sawyer, Jack and Kate came there. He pieced 2 and 2 together, knowing that they do projects at Hydra Station, but not knowing that it is on a separate island.
That island we were on, is that where your people live?
Just where we work.
Work on what?
Projects.
Tom moved Jack to the cages while Juliet is put in the aquarium. This is our first introduction to the sheriff, Isabel, a character we never see again. They get Jack up here and into Sawyer's old cage. Later that night, Juliet comes to the cages and asks Jack to help Ben again as a personal favor. Then she leaves. Isabel comes a bit later, and then bring him into the main station for questioning. Alex was just here and is taken out, likely questioned, since she was helping Sawyer and Kate. This is our introduction to the office area of the Hydra. We'll also spend more time here in season 5, but Ben's office is a little bit different than Isabel's office. But they're all likely part of the same hallway and floor, maybe next to each other. Juliet is already there. She questions him, he denies being asked to kill Ben. At some point, someone from the others decides that they need a group of people for a hearing. Therefore, I think that the Pala ferry will be used again, either that night or very early in the morning. Someone will use the ferry to get all those people from the barracks to the secondary island. It is day 74. Jack wakes up in the Hydra cages, surrounded by people, including Cindy, Emma and Zach. This is also why I've placed Doc here and the cages here, contrary to my old map. They need to go through this area at first, just like when they brought Colleen. They walked past the cages to get to the main building, so these people just stand there to wait until the trial begins. Cindy informs him that they're here to watch. It sounds cryptic, but I think it's as easy as that they're there to watch the trial. And she doesn't specify much. The fact that she approaches Jack smiling suggests to us that it is true what Carl says, they're living a better life. It's a bit creepy that they're all smiling, wearing nice clothing even though a few weeks earlier they got kidnapped and were scared of the others. Once again highlighting how they've been turned. The show South Park even parodied this kind of thing in season 7's All About the Mormons. The obnoxiously kind, nicely dressed people and how different their lives are to the rest of the small town and how they've gotten the Marsh family on their team.
I'm gonna go have a talk with this Mr. Harrison. If he thinks he can fill my son's head with wacko religious crap, he's wrong.
Randy, don't cause trouble.
Let me handle this, Sharon. You gotta put these cult people in their place or else they never stop. I'm gonna go kick this Mr. Harrison's ass.
So, how'd it go, Clubber Lang? You kicked Mr. Harrison's ass?
Not exactly. We're, having their family over for dinner tomorrow night.
Kate and Sawyer wake up to find Carl off in the jungle crying. Sawyer tells him to cowboy up and that Alex is worth the trouble. Alex goes to the cages and tells Jack that Juliet will be executed for killing Pickett. Jack offers medical care for Ben in return for commuting Juliet's sentence. Alex says this.
Where's Juliet?
She's with the rest of them. They're gonna read her verdict.
Her verdict.
And we all know what it's gonna be. We're pretty strict about killing one of our own. Eye for an eye.
It's interesting that it is Alex that lays the groundwork for the rules, since it is Alex who will be the subject on the day they will be changed. Yes, I'm talking about the rules that Ben mentions in season 4. I believe they're all part of the same Others code, and this one is ancient, going back to the Code of Hammurabi, written in the Old Babylonian dialect of Akkadian, a collection of Babylonian laws. The stone cork had their writing on it, so maybe a civilization from Mesopotamia arrived on the island? I believe this rule transferred from this part of the world, transferred to the earliest civilizations on the island, suggested by the rules that Mother made so that the kids wouldn't hurt each other. If you kill an other, you must be punished for it. However, several people have bent those rules. Widmore killed one of their own when he was about to tell them about their camp, just like Miss Clue instructed Mikhail to kill her when they got captured. The rules are also emphasized in the flashbacks, with Archera saying she's not allowed to use her gift on an outsider, but as an outsider, Jack is also deemed great.
Who am I?
You're a leader. A great man.
He's a good man. Maybe a great one.
And that's quite cool, because the others are the good guys, but their leader is great.
Who are you people? We're the good guys, Michael.
We're good people, Claire. We're a good family.
You killed 2 of us. Good people who were leaving you alone. Then consider yourself one of the good guys. Because the man in charge, he's a great man, John.
You know, you were real good number 2.
And you were a great number 1, Hugo.
Alex and Jack run up the stairs and deliver Ben's note to Tom and Isabel, which says Juliet is to be marked instead. They're still filming at Paradise Park, and this is one of the hallways in this very same building, such as this one. On the main island, Kate and Sawyer begin to walk south back to their camp. They won't be in the camp until 2 days from now, so that is why I've placed this campsite way north over here. It's a long walk. Carl would head in this direction, through the jungle towards the barracks, but he'll try to stay hidden. He will reunite with Alex and follow the others, but as we see later in the season, he's hiding from Ben. He might stay in another house or just nearby. Jack is taken out of his cage and he's given back his backpack. That's a nice move by them. When they took Jack in the season 2 finale, they brought his backpack and then gave it back to him in the end. They all will travel on the trawler back to the barracks with the others. This trawler is only seen once on the show, which is kind of a pattern in this episode, as if they're showing a lot of stuff into the shadows. But this is the ship I believe is the Pala ferry that the Dharma Initiative used to travel to the barracks and to Hydro Island. As soon as it docks, Tom will now leave the island and go to New York. One thing that was heavily discussed in this episode was Juliet's mark, which kinda looks like the symbol for the Church of Scientology. Some fans started making theories on whether or not this was a sly reference that the others act like this dangerous movement created by the sci-fi writer L. Ron Hubbard, a rich cult-like movement with violent tendencies. The others and the Dharma Initiative had behaviors that resembled these unconventional, deceptive techniques used by them to recruit members. Hubbard published the book Dianetics, and shortly after saw the birth of Scientology. Dianetics was to free individuals of the influence of past traumas by systematic exposure of past memories, but that came with a price, a lot of dollars. And to reach the various levels to become free, you'll have to pay millions. For this, Scientology is using auditing with an e-meter, while Dharma used extensive questioning and strange tests.
Phil said they had him taking all sorts of weird head exams, like ink blots, and just kind of random exams like that.
There are 4 common traits of the job postings. This graphic watermark, the quantity of similar job openings, strange tests, and the large number of interviews. And almost without fail, after accepting the position, the applicant disappears.
The others, particularly the modern ones, employing several techniques. A colorful community with a darker underbelly. To me, the others likely got most of their money from donations, just like Tom Cruise and his donations to the church. And who would blame them? Ben has a vast network of people off the island. People that likely donate to the others. People that might have come to the island with some sort of disease and then left after they've been cured by something supernatural. Something that the doctors couldn't fix. That they would surely pay up, but also obligated to keep this a secret to protect the island. And if there is one thing that is growing in Scientology, it is their bank accounts. And paying a lot for legal protection and surveillance, especially for the compound at Riverside. The others don't have the same moral compass as most people, as Scientology, which has been accused of doing human trafficking, child abuse, and forced separation of family members. We have similar issues with the others. They brush aside something as traumatic as kidnapping.
Why do you think they're doing this?
Why do I think who's doing what?
Them. Don't you ever wonder why they attack us?
Maybe they're not attacking us.
Yeah, they just drag us into the jungle every now and then. No real harm done.
Good point.
I'm not saying that the others are Scientologists, they obviously are not, but what I'm saying is that the show examines religion and culture in a very fascinating way, and with season 1 and 2 having a lot of themes surrounding Catholicism, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism and Taoism, as well as exploring older myths, and the others, as well as Dharma, represent the extreme, something that this episode highlights: the strict rules, the surveillance, the fact that they can willingly execute someone of their own on their premises without taking them to the real world, to a real courtroom.
Ben has commuted Juliet's sentence. Execution is off the table. He says the rules don't apply.
And that they have the tail section that were kidnapped and given a better life is quite scary. And fun fact, just to tie it back to this episode and L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology, Hubbard corresponded with another science fiction fanatic back in the day, one named Robert A. Heinlein. There used to be a rumor that the Church of Scientology came out of a bar bet between those two, but that was a rumor. However, Heinlein was the inspiration behind L. Ron Hubbard's book on Dianetics, revealed in a letter from 1949. Heinlein happens to be the author of the critically acclaimed science fiction novel called Stranger in a Strange Land. Next episode will be a fun one. Trisha Tanaka is dead.